Okay, real quick, before we get into the review, I need to set the scene for you. On screen right now is the seating chart for the theater where I saw the zone of interest. And if you notice, there's this weird little isolated, quiet section in the back right there. And I thought that would be nice, and so I sat right here. And for the most part, it was nice. It was nice and quiet, there weren't any people bothering me by talking. But there was one small problem, which was these two seats. The tops of these seats were blocking this little area in the bottom right side of the screen. And this is a movie that's in German with English subtitles. So whenever a character said a line that was like medium length, I had to climb up my chair just to be able to read it over these two seats. So watching this movie, I was uncomfortable physically because of my seating situation, but also uncomfortable mentally because of the subject of this movie. The Zone of Interest is directed by Jonathan Glazer and tells the story of the commandant of Auschwitz and his wife striving to build a life for their family in a house and garden directly outside the camp. Now, I have been looking forward to this movie for a while. This movie was officially released on December 8th, so I've been waiting for 2 months to be able to see this movie. I even considered taking a trip to New York City just to see this movie. One of the things I did while waiting to see this movie was check out Jonathan Glazer's last movie, Under the Skin, and I didn't like it. By the way, shameless plug, follow me on Letterboxd. But yeah, I didn't like it. Maybe I just didn't get it, but it just wasn't for me. And after watching The Zone of Interest, I can say that there are definitely some things that I didn't get about this either, and there were some things that I didn't like. But overall, I understood it well enough to make this review, so here I am. You can definitely tell that this and Under the Skin were made by the same director because it has a very similar style. The narrative of this film is very simple and mundane, and at a surface level for most of the movie, not a lot really happens with this family, which is something that's not for everyone, and that's okay. But what makes this movie work really well for me is the way this normal family going about their daily life directly contrasts with the atrocities going on in the background. One of the children in this family is an infant, and she spends a lot of her screen time crying because, she's a baby. And the way this family responds to the crying baby is really a microcosm of how they live with the horrors in their backyard. Because they respond in the exact same way. It's just a minor inconvenience to them, and so they put up with it and they carry on with their day. This film uses sound in a way that I've never seen before, and possibly never will again. Every single person that talks about this movie will talk about how it uses sound. It's really a masterclass in less is more, because very rarely, if ever, do you see the atrocities going on inside Auschwitz. Instead, you hear it. You hear screams and gunshots while the family is out tending their garden, or sleeping, or the commandant is out in their backyard for a smoke. And just hinting at what's going on and letting our imaginations run wild is so much more powerful and unsettling than anything the film could have shown us. Glazer is so good at taking seemingly simple shots, sounds, actions, dialogue, and making it into something greater. Now, as you can imagine from the premise, the major theme of this movie is the banality of evil. The way seemingly normal people can do these horrifyingly evil things. The things this family says and the things they experience are so shocking, but the film delivers them so nonchalantly that a few times I literally gasped. Sandra Hüller's definitely the standout here, and what a year it's been for her between this and Anatomy of a Fall. She is so good in this, and she is so casually evil. You know how sometimes you'll meet someone and you're getting to know them and they seem alright, and then out of nowhere they just say something that's a massive red flag? That's her character. Some of the things she says with the way she says them made me have to do a double take and be like, did you really just say that? It just goes to show that being evil is so normalized in this family. As this film got into the third act, I found myself wondering, how is this going to wrap up? With this family having a, for lack of a better word, uneventful story, would this movie just kind of end? And it would have been fine if it did that. This still would have been a really good movie. But the way this film ends is genius. It is so unexpected, but not in a way that's jarring. it still felt really natural and it perfectly captured the themes of the film. And it kind of took me a second to figure it out, but once it clicked for me and I saw where it was going, my jaw hit the floor. It is so powerful and so poignant while still following the simplicity of the story. I'm going to be thinking about this ending for a long time. So, with all that said, did I like the Zone of Interest? I don't know, man. Can I say I liked it if I was unsettled and on edge throughout the entirety of the runtime? What I can say is that this film accomplishes exactly what it sets out to. It's the most horrifying and disturbing movie I've seen in a long time, and it's going to be burned in my brain for a while. If you've seen The Zone of Interest, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching.